In this video, I'm going to talk through the student button in the Multiply app for Word of Life 51 Student Ministries. We're actually going to do this student part screen in two parts. First is just going to be going over student information and parent information, and then we're going to do another video that will deal with the student's progress in creative discipleship. So let's go into the student screen by touching down below here in the two people icon. You'll notice this gives you a list of every student in your ministry. Now, depending on your role as a leader, if you're an administrator, you will see every student in the ministry. If you are a key leader, you'll see every student in the ministry. And what you see on the screen obviously is a screenshot, the name of the student, and then their small group. Now, if you are a leader, if that's your role, you are leading a small group, you would literally only see just your group. So what I'm going to do right now, if I'm an administrator or key leader, and in this ministry, I'm set up as a key leader, so I have access to filter by small group. And let's just say I'm going to be filling in as the small group leader for the boys 7th and 8th grade group. I can touch this filter button in the top right, the three lines there, and it will bring up a screen that will allow me to filter by small group. And then what it shows me is just the students that are in that small group. That's a really nice feature, especially if you want to be able to have people fill in that are key leaders or administrators. Now, if we click on just any student, and I'm just going to click on the top one here, John Collins, and you'll notice we've got a screenshot for him. Any of this information can be changed or updated at any time just by touching the little pencil button in the top corner, and I can update or change any of this information at any time I want. Or I can just do quick access to find out here is his basic information that I'm looking for. And a couple things just to take note of. Notice the graduation year says 2024. Once you put the graduation year in the app and save that information, the app will calculate what grade they're in currently. You'll notice the 4-chair discipleship information, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, his prayer request, and then more information. And the whole idea of more information is just to talk about those things that are specific to that student, maybe favorite teams, things they like to eat, maybe key medical information that you want to put in there. But that's just a place for you to store key information and for that student. Then you have the parent information, which I have none for John here. And then you have their cause circle. Now, the cause circle is something from Dare to Share Ministries. We are partnered with them in Word of Life. And the cause circle has a curriculum that goes with it called Full Circle, which is a part of our curriculum package as well. And we talk about prayer, care, and share related to sharing the gospel with friends. So the cause circle would be the circle of friends that I am seeking to reach with the gospel and the great cause of sharing the gospel with them. So that's where the cause circle comes from. Prayer means that I'm praying for an opportunity. I'm praying for their open heart to the gospel. Care is I'm seeking to show the love of Christ to them in ways that I demonstrate love and concern and care for them. And then share is me sharing the gospel out loud with words to that student. So you'll notice that I have 3 people in the cause circle here for John, and we can edit those. And right now, Jim is prayer only. What I'm going to do is I'm going to tap on the pencil, and I'm going to move Jim from prayer. I've been praying for Jim, and now I'm going to move him to care. And I'm going to actually do something this week to show the love of Christ to Jim, and I'm going to save that. So I'm moving that, and then you'll notice the button down below that talks about their discipleship, and I'll go into detail on that on another video. So that's what it looks like when you go into a student screen. Of course, you can edit all that, but what I want to do now is just walk you through adding a student. So you'll see in the bottom right corner, just above the menu bar, is a little icon of a person and a plus. So I'm going to touch on that. And then it brings you into an edit student screen, and this is where you would add. So if you touch on the icon of the person, you could actually go to your camera, and I'm just going to snap a photo of my screen here, and then I'm going to say I want to use that video. I'm going to edit that a bit. I'm going to bring it down, and then I'm going to say crop everything out, and now I have that video that is available for that student. I can type their name. I can also put them in a small group. Notice here's the list of the small groups. Now here's something important. If I'm a key leader or if I'm an administrator, what group I put them in obviously is important, but I will be able to see them. But if I'm the group leader for the 7th and 8th grade boys only, unless I put them in the 7th and 8th grade group, which I'm going to do, and I'm the leader of that group, they will not be visible to me because I can only see my small group. So make sure that you select them and put them in the small group if you're a small group leader in your small group. And that way you'll be able to see them. Then under 4-chair discipleship, I'm going to open that up. You'll notice we see seeker, believer, worker, and disciple maker. And the book 4-chair discipleship by Dan Spader is an awesome book. We encourage you to read it. This is something that many youth groups use as a process of where a student is spiritually. So a seeker is someone who is, maybe they're coming to youth group, but they haven't put their faith in Christ yet. That would be a seeker. A believer, obviously, would be someone who has put their faith and trust in Christ, and we would say that they're a believer. A worker is someone who is now involved in serving and using their gifts for the Lord. And then disciple maker, and I'm going to actually make this person, and I haven't given them a name yet, so let me go ahead and do that. Well, I'm going to show you something in just a second. And a disciple maker is someone who is reproducing reproducers. So they have led a friend to Christ, they've trained them up, they are discipling them, and they are a disciple maker, and they are helping them lead other people to Christ. Then you notice you've got your email, their gender, their birth date, and preferred social media. You can put all of that information in there, and I'm actually going to put a graduation here of 2025. So you'll see how that navigates and creates that for them. You can put prayer requests in here, and then the more information button, parent information, and I'll just put here, this is going to be Pat, and I'm going to call him Smith. We haven't given the student a name yet, and I'm just going to give them a phone number and no email. So I'm going to click, now I'm going to click the checkbox or the check button on the top right corner, and you'll notice that I've got a problem up top where it's saying this field cannot be empty. So I've got to give this student a name, which makes sense. So I'm going to call him Kevin, and his last name is Smith. And I should be able to now confirm that information, which I'm going to do, and I'm going to say yes. And now Kevin Smith is one of the people. Notice he is right in my list right here, and I can touch on his information and all the information, which is very little. But you'll notice in his graduation year, because I put 2025, it's saying, oh, he's an 8th grader. Notice it shows he's 4-chair discipleship. Notice his dad's name is Patrick and his phone number. And we can also see he has nothing in the cause circle right now. We don't have any information, but if I wanted to, I could add right here a person, and let's say he's trying to reach John, and he's praying for John. So I'm going to add him, and now John shows up in his cause circle. All right, so that's basically as simple as it is to add a student, update their information, to do the filtering on that. What I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to go into the details. If I go into John Collins here, I'm going to go into the details of the discipleship menu and walk you through that.